Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It's weigh-in day. Yeah, weigh-in day. It's been a rough few weeks. I haven't done this in a while. I generally, if I feel like I have nothing to say, I won't make a video. And that's kind of how the last few weeks have gone. I feel like I have nothing to say. Scale has been roughly just, it's going up and down, but I'm still over the 200 range, right? So I think the last week when I weighed in, I was 203 pounds lost. So that's where I'm at. But I've been, I guess for the last, 2 months or so, I have been trying to embark on a spiritual journey, a journey that is, in the end, the goal is to be closer to God, and because there's more to life than just losing weight. There's more to life. We get to the end of something, and it's not just stay here and do nothing. There's always more. So the next part of my journey has been, the goal is focused on to getting closer to God. And the only way I know how to get closer to God is to read the Bible and pray, really. I don't really have a church. But the one thing I could say about reading the Bible is, I used to talk a lot about, in my podcast, I used to talk a lot about the mirror of truth. I used to say, you have to have that moment where you look at the truth in the mirror, and if it doesn't matter that you don't like what you see, because it has to be the beginning of the change, right? You have to take that hard look, and you have to see, no matter how much weight you've gained or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. You just have to take that look, and you have to see what has been created in order to make change. And it's funny because I never thought of the Bible as a mirror. But it certainly is one. It certainly is one. Because when you're reading the stories in it, and you're seeing men and women who were devoted to God and what they went through, you're sitting here complaining about, just mediocre nonsense, life's nonsense. But you see what they went through, and they never wavered. They made mistakes, but they just did what God's will was in any particular moment. Even though, no matter how imperfect they did it, they did it. And then you start to look at yourself, right? And you see the person I am, right? The person I have become. And when you compare what that person went through to the little nonsense that I went through, it's just like, well, how, I'm someone who believed that God existed, right? I could easily say that a year ago. If you would have talked to me a year ago, I would say, yes, I believe God exists. I believe, Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins. I would say all of those things. I could say that I believed. But there's really a difference between believing and obedience. Good morning. So Do you just believe that God exists, or do you obey what God says? And this is, a hard pill to swallow, because it's an easy answer, right? Especially when you're seeing the men and women of the Old Testament, and you're seeing even the birth of Jesus and his life and what he did. When you're seeing all of those things, you believe, and you realize really quickly you believe God, but maybe not so much. At least that's what I realized. That I believe he exists, and I'm confident he's there, and I'm confident that he died on a cross for my sin. But I do not obey him. And it starts to take it also shows you everything you're not doing, right? It shows you everything you're not doing. It shows you everything you are doing, just by reading the stories of the Bible. I never thought of the Bible as a mirror until now. Now I could see that, because when you look, you see essentially everything you're not. Same thing when you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, your physical body. Same thing, just on a spiritual side of things, I guess you could say. All I can do is keep going with the way I'm going. Everywhere I look lately, all I was seeing was the scripture was everywhere, all over social media. I'm not sure how that happens, but all I see was the scripture, be still and know that I am God. And I saw it just over and over and over again. And I felt like I needed to get away from social media. So all of the social media apps are deleted from my phone. I cannot access them. The accounts are not deleted. Just the apps from my phone for the next, I'm set 8 days into a 30-day fast of social media. And even then, I could see just that little friction I created by deleting the app rather than logging out of it, rather than, that little friction I created to delete it. I find myself aimlessly looking at the phone and wondering why. What am I looking at? What am I looking for? I'm just swiping through screens like my mind is, good morning. My mind is aimlessly looking for thank you. My mind is looking for an app that no longer exists on my phone. And then all of a sudden I wake up to what I'm doing. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You don't realize how much of the attachment is there until you find yourself aimlessly, unconsciously looking for something that's not there. And I guess I'll find out at the end of all this why I needed to do all this. But as of right now, I'm just going through the motions and reading about stories that I think will help me. And I'm sure one day I'll see myself in a different light. But as of right now, I don't see myself in a good light, that's for sure. And it's, it's up and down. One day I feel okay, and the next day I feel like I got beat up. And I guess that's all part of the process. But a lot of people have been reaching out and wondering where I am. And that's just it. It's just a social media fast. I'm posting this to YouTube, and hopefully if you're subscribed, you watch it, and you could share it to other people. Whatever you're doing today, enjoy yourself. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.